morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How is everybody doing today? Everybody good?
Yes.
Thank you. How did you find the part 1 test last week? Was it okay? Was it a little bit easier than the pre-test? With all your strategies that we've put in place for you? Okay, so today this is the last class I have with you, so we are going to finish our part 2. And then part 1 and part 2 is done. Okay, so last week we ended with introduction to part 2 and what kinds of questions they will ask you. This week we will go through those types of questions, look at the tips, look at the tricks, and do some more practice. Are you ready to begin? Yay, nay? All right, so you can open the books. We are on page, let's get there. We are on page 26. Everybody there?
Hi, teacher. Good morning.
Morning, good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm good, thank you.
This is the
Okay.
last time to see you, right?
Yeah, so this will be the last class I give on Toeic, and then you have Dr. Satima this afternoon, and then you'll have Dr. Siddhatip coming in, and
Oh my God. We gonna miss you.
you've got a nice group of teachers teaching you this workshop. Okay, so let's get started then. We are on page 26. So page 26, here we are, question response. We did go through this page last week, just what you'll hear, what you'll do, and you know what to expect because you have done the pre-test. So you know what the question response looks like and you know what to expect. So let's go look then at tips and tasks for answering correctly on page 27. Okay, so we're going to look at question and statement types. Remember, part 2 can be question response or statement response. It doesn't only have to be a question. So we'll first go through all the question types that they might ask you, and then we'll look at statements at the end. So the first type of question that you'll see is information questions. You all know what information questions is. We call it information questions because we are looking for more information. So these are your what, who, when, where, why questions. It's all asking for more information. Okay, information questions. So it continues to say information questions are also called WH questions. Not just WH, how is in there as well. So these are the questions that begin with question words or phrases, such as who, whose, what, when, where, which, why, and how. Okay, so just to ask you, is there anybody that can tell me the difference between who and whose? So if I use the word whose, they are pronounced exactly the same if I say whose and whose. So what is the difference between whose and whose? Anybody know? Can you maybe give me an example when you'll use each one?
Whom and whose, right? Who and whose?
So whose and whose. they pronounce exactly the same. What's those homonyms, right? They are pronounced exactly the same, but they are very different. Whose and whose? Anyone want to take a guess? What's the difference?
I use the who with the verb. I use whose with the noun.
Okay, that's good. So to explain it in more technical terms with English, who, remember the contraction it's omitting a letter, right? So it's who is or who has. So whose phone is this? Which whose would you use? Whose phone is this? The first or the second one?
Second one.
The second one. Why? You cannot say whose phone is this. Right. So whenever you do not know which one to use, always put is in there. If it works, then it's the whose with the contracted S. If it doesn't work, then you know it's this whose. Right. This whose is the object of the sentence. So it's the possessive word. So the subject will be in the sentence, like whose phone is this? So you're asking who owns the phone. All right. So it's always the object of the sentence, and this one will always be looking at the subject of the sentence. Okay, but I'm going to play you a video so it's a little bit more sense. Here is the video, and there it goes. Okay, so just a quick video showing you the difference between who and whose and whose. Remember, they are pronounced exactly the same, but one is a contraction and the other is the possessive pronoun. So if you use this one, you need to make sure it's talking about ownership. Someone owns something, possessive pronoun. Okay, and like I said with the test, always just check, can you put is in the sentence? If not, then you use whose. If you can put the is in the sentence, then you use the whose contracted form. Okay, so that was just a quick whose. And then the rest of the information questions are there. So each different question word asks for a different type of information. This is useful to know because when you are listening, you only hear the audio once. So if you listen to what type of question it is, you know what information they are requesting, and you then know what to listen for. So that's important. If you can listen to what information is requested, it makes the listening section a lot easier. So for example, who put the package on my desk? We are listening for a person. Okay, whose car is this? We are listening for the owner because it's the possessive pronoun. What did you buy? We are looking for a thing. We are listening for a thing, sorry. What did they do last night? If you've got what and do in the sentence, we are listening for an activity. When or what time? Both of these have got to do with time, and you need to listen for time. So you can see it's what, but if it says what time, then it changes the information question. Where? We are looking for a location, right? So the location can be a place, or like a place as in like an office building or a monument, whatever, but it can also be a place on the desk or a place in the fridge. All right, so it's just a location. Which is a choice. So you are listening for a choice. Why? You are listening for a reason. How do you get to work? You're listening for the manner or the method. So how do you get to work? By bus. The manner to get to work is by bus, or the method to get to work is by bus. How many or how much? We are listening for quantity. And how often? We are listening for frequency. So remember, with frequency, always, often, seldom, never, sometimes. Also, once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, once a year, every so often, every summer. These are all frequency phrases that you would have to listen for. Okay, so frequency words that you can listen for. So the first one, tip 1, identify the question words you hear. So all of these in bold, who, whose, what, when, what time, where, which, why, how much, how many, how often, these are question words. So when you correctly identify the question word, you will know what type of information to listen for, the information requested. Okay, this is gold. This is a pro tip. Once you know what information you need to listen for, it makes listening so much easier. So task 1, listen to each question. Circle the question words you hear. Very easy. We're just going to quickly do the warm up, and so we can see if your listening is ready to go today. So very quick, very easy.
Listening Part 2. Get it right. Question types. Information questions. Tip 1. Task.
Circle the one you
Number
hear.
1.
When do you take your vacation?
Number 2.
Whose coat is that on the chair?
Number 3.
How often is there a staff meeting?
Number 4.
Where can we have lunch?
Number 5.
Who helped you write the report?
Okay, so very easy. Number 1,
When.
when, right? So when you hear the word when, what information is being requested?
Location.
Good. No, when. So if you look at information requested, when, we are listening for
Time.
time. Okay, so I'm going to refer to this table pretty often. So number 2, which who's who? Can you remember? Whose is correct, yes. So what information is being requested?
The owner.
The owner. The statement was, well, the question was, whose coat is this? So we're looking for the owner of the coat. Number 3,
How often? How often?
yes, how often? What is the information requested?
Frequency.
Frequency.
Frequency, excellent. And number 4,
Where?
where? What is the information?
Place. Location.
Location, place, same thing, good. So location or a place. And then the last one, number 5,
Who?
who? Who are we listening for? What information?
Person.
A person. Excellent. Okay, so very easy. And like I said, I'm going to refer to this table often so that we go over this information requested. Tip 2 says, be sure to listen for the type of information that the question asks for. If you listen for when, listen for time. If you hear when, listen for time. If you hear where, listen for a place or a location. Okay, this makes it a little easier in this section. So the next task, read the possible responses in the box. Then listen to the questions and write the letter of the correct response next to each number. So we have A, My boss did. B. It's Jim's. C. I prefer this one. D. Just once a month. E. There are about 10 of them. F. Usually in August. And G. There's a cafeteria downstairs. So instead of listening to this first, let's go back to this table and I want you to tell me what information are they giving us in these responses. So my boss did. What is the information that they're giving us? What do you think? My boss did.
Who?
Who, right? It's a person. My boss is a person. So we are probably trying to listen to a sentence, a question with who. Okay, so A, we most likely going to listen for who. B, it's Jim's.
How often?
Good guess. Jim?
Oh. Whose?
Jim. Who? Okay, Jim. Sorry, you're right. Whose? It's Jim's. It is Jim's. So we are asking about who does something belong to, right? So this is ownership. It's Jim's. So for example, whose phone is this? It's Jim's, right? So this one is whose. Whose car is this? It's Jim's. So we're looking at owner at number 2. Good. C, I prefer this one.
What?
Which?
Good. So it's not what, it's which. Which is always a choice. Remember, prefer means you like something more. Okay, like, do you prefer tea or coffee? I prefer tea. It doesn't mean you don't like coffee. It just means you like tea more. Okay, which one do you prefer? So this is a choice. I prefer this one. D, just once a month. What is the information we're looking for?
Frequency.
Frequency, excellent. So we are listening to, for the words, how often in that one. Okay, excellent. Next one, there are about 10 of them.
How many?
Good. How many or how much? 10 is a quantity. Right, so we're doing this backwards just in this exercise so you can see how it works. All right, so quantity, so we are listening for how many or how much. F, usually in August.
When?
Good. When? When? Time. Remember, it can be the time or it can be a date as well. It could also maybe be how often. So for example, how often do you go on holiday? Usually in August. Okay, so those are 2 possibilities. It's most likely when, but it could also be how often. Okay. And G, there's a cafeteria downstairs.
Where?
Where?
Excellent. Where? We are listening for, they've given us a location, downstairs. So downstairs is a location, so we are listening for where. Okay, let me play the track for you, and then I want you to number the one with the correct letter. Here we go. As always, coming soon.
Listening Part 2. Get it right. Question types. Information questions. Tip 1. Task. Number 1.
When do you take your vacation?
Number 2.
Whose coat is that on the chair?
Number 3.
How often is there a staff meeting?
Number 4.
Where can we have lunch?
Number 5.
Who helped you write the report?
It's easy now, right? Once you've done the analysis. It's pretty easy. So if this is the backwards way of doing it. So we were given the information, we tried to guess what kind of question it would ask, right? And then the questions were asked and we already knew the answer. Okay, so number 1, what is the letter?
F.
Listening Part
Good.
2.
F.
Get
right?
it right. Question types. Information questions. Tip 1. Task. Number 1.
When do you take your vacation?
Okay, so when do you take your vacation? We are looking at F. Sorry, I've lost number. So 1 is F, usually in August. Number 2,
Number 2.
Whose coat is that on the chair?
the answer?
The answer is B.
B.
It's Jim.
Excellent. The answer is B. It's Jim's. They're asking whose coat is this? They're looking for ownership.
Number 3.
How often is there a staff meeting?
Answer?
Just one is a month.
Good. D dog, just once a month.
D.
How often? Frequency. Excellent. D is correct.
Number 4.
Where can we have lunch?
Answer?
G.
G is correct.
G.
There's a cafeteria downstairs. Where can we have lunch? You can have a lunch at the cafeteria, and the location is downstairs. Good. And the last one.
Number 5.
Who helped you write the report?
A.
A.
My boss did. Why? Because we are looking for who? And we're looking for the person, my boss. Excellent. Okay. Let's go on to the next one. Try a Toeic question. So we're going to pre-read the question or response options. Remember, this is not in the test. You do not see the question and you do not see the responses. So it's all 100% listening. So we're going to pre-read the questions and response options, then listen to the audio, and then underline the question word and think about what it is asking for, a thing, activity, or a time. Then choose the best response. Okay, so the question is, what time does the train leave? We have A, the rain has stopped. B, buy your ticket here. Or C, at 10 o'clock. What is the question word? The question word? What? Right?
Yes.
We're looking at what time. Sorry, not what. What time?
Yes. What time?
And so what are we listening for? What is the information requested? Time, right? So what time does the train leave? If you look at option A, the rain has stopped. They're trying to trick you with train and rain, right? And we're not talking about the rain. We're talking about the train. So A is obviously wrong. Buy your ticket here. They're trying to confuse you about where you can buy a train ticket. And then C is the only one that deals with what time, at 10 o'clock. Okay, so obviously C will be your answer. Okay, so very easy information questions. We will go over this. Most important thing in information questions is this table. If you can cut this out, stick it on your mirror every morning so you can see it, and just to remind you what you are listening for when it comes to information questions in the test. Okay, we will practice more of that later on. Let's look at yes/no questions. Yes/no questions can be confusing for some. There are different types of yes/no questions. And they say yes, no questions because yes, no is usually the answer. And I say usually. Sometimes they forget to put yes or no in, and the rest of the answer is then context. So let's have a look. In part 2, some of the questions will be yes, no questions. Yes, no questions begin with auxiliary verbs. So auxiliary verbs are, is and are, was, were, do, does, did, have, has, or will. These are auxiliary verbs. And that is how yes, no questions start. So information questions, who, what, when, where, why, how, which, whose, right? Yes, no questions, is, are, was, were, do, does, did, have, has, or will. Sorry, my line doesn't want to stay straight. Okay, so that's what the question starts with. They might also begin with a negative form of the auxiliary verb. So we're looking at was, didn't, or won't. Those are negative forms. So the question can start with the positive, the affirmative, or the negative. Okay, so was is the affirmative, wasn't is the negative. It can start with the affirmative or the negative. For all of them, is, isn't, are, aren't, was, wasn't, were, weren't, do, don't, does, doesn't. Okay, so each affirmative has a negative, and that can also start the question. Okay, the correct response usually begins with yes or no, but watch out, they try and trick you. Sometimes they'll put yes in the incorrect answer and no yes in the correct answer, which can be very confusing. Okay, sometimes the response will be a direct answer to the question without yes or no. Let's look at some examples. So, is this your desk? Yes, no. Yes, I like working by the window. No, mine's over there. So the auxiliary verb is are. Are you going out for lunch? Yes, I think so. Not today. So you'll see not today. There's no direct no, not today. They use not. So remember that you can also use not for no when you're responding to answers. Weren't you out of town last week? Remember, weren't is the negative of were. So weren't you out of town last week? Yes, I got back yesterday. Or no, I was in the office all week. Was that your new assistant? Yes, he started last week. No, that's my boss. Wasn't, were. Do, doesn't. Do, does. Do you work here? I'm the manager. Can you see they took out yes completely? So if you say, I'm the manager, you are assuming that the person works there, right? If you say, I'm the manager, that means you work there. You don't have to say, yes, I'm the manager. You can say, I'm the manager, it means the same thing. So they completely take yes out there. So you are not always listening for yes and no. Do you work here? No, I'm a client. You could also say, do you work here? I'm a client. And that can also assume that that's no. Okay, so that yes, no doesn't have to be there. Doesn't your wife work here too? Yes, she's in the legal department. Or she used to, but she got another job. You can see she used to means she doesn't work here now. So no, she used to. Okay, so no is not there. So she used to is the past tense. So yes, she worked here, but in the past. She used to. Yeah. Did you sign the document? Yes, and then I put it on your desk. Or I'll sign it right now. Have you ever got a reminder from your mother when they ask you to do something? And you're like, no, I haven't done it. So you go, yes, Mom, I'll do it now. Okay. So no, you haven't done it before, but yes, you will do it now. That's what it means by saying, I'll sign it right now. So you haven't done it yet. Okay, so you're still going to do it, but you'll do it now. Okay. Didn't you hear the news? Yes, it was terrible, wasn't it? No, what happened? Look, they are asking extra questions. So didn't you hear the news? Yes, it was terrible, wasn't it? So they are extending the conversation. No, what happened? So they don't know what happened, so they're asking, didn't you hear the news? Have you finished the report? I finished it last night. So that assumes yes. If you've already finished it last night, that means yes. Not yet. Look out for that not. Means no, not yet, but I'll finish it soon. Hasn't John left for vacation yet? He left last night, so yes, he left last night, or he left last week, or he left yesterday, right? Those are all saying yes to has he left. And he's leaving tomorrow means he hasn't left yet. So there's no yes or no in these answers. So he's leaving tomorrow, he's leaving next week, he's leaving tomorrow night. These are all no answers to has he left for vacation yet? So has he already gone? Will you be at the staff meeting tomorrow? I plan to be. What does that mean? It's in your plans, right? So it's on your schedule to be at that meeting. So unless something happens, it's in your plan to be there. Okay. No, I have another commitment. What does commitment mean? Does anybody know? If you say you have a commitment. Let's put it here. Remember, while you're studying, always look up new words that come up. So commitment, we've got obligation, right? Which one?
ความมุ่งมั่น
Okay, so no, I have another commitment, or no, I have another meeting, or no, I have to go to the dentist. Means all the same thing. Okay, so you can tell them, they can tell you what the commitment is, or they can just say commitment. Commitment is more polite. You don't have to share all your personal details. So if your teacher asks, are you staying after class to help? You can say, no, I have another commitment, which could mean, no, I have to go home and work, or no, I have to go to the dentist, or no, I have to go to Tesco Lotus to buy groceries. Okay, commitment is just a nice, polite word for you having to do something else. Okay, and the last one, won't you be at the concert tonight? Yes, I'll be sitting in the front row, or no, I wasn't able to get a ticket. So you can see there are a lot of answers that do not have yes or no in, and you have to listen to the context. Okay, that is the yes-no questions. Then we have embedded questions. Does anybody know what embedded questions is? I did touch on it a little last week. Embedded questions are questions within a question. We looked up what embedded means, remember? So questions within a question. So there's a question inside of another question. That is what embedded means. So some yes-no questions contain embedded questions. So a question within a question inside of another question. So for example, can you tell me where the meeting is? Or do you know when he arrived? These are two examples of embedded questions. Questions inside of a question. Why we say inside? Can you tell me is a question. Where is the meeting is another question. So where is the meeting is embedded in can you tell me? Okay, so there are two questions here. When it comes to the Toeic test, we are not interested in answering the first part of the question. In the Toeic test, you are listening for the embedded question. You are always listening for the information from the embedded question. So don't get stuck on can you. Remember, can you is a yes or no question. Can I have a sandwich? Yes or no, right? But that's not what you're listening for. When it comes to embedded questions, you are listening for the embedded question, the question inside of the other question. Where is the meeting? So instead of the answering the question yes or no, You are looking for the answer of location. Okay, so this is the first trick when it comes to question response. Embedded questions, you are actually listening for the question inside of the question. So the same here, do you know when he arrived? Do you know is the question, and then do you know the when did he arrive is the embedded question. When did he arrive is what you are listening for when it comes to the answer. You are listening for time. Okay. This type of question begins with a yes-no question, but contains an embedded question in subject-verb order. So what they mean by subject-verb order, where the meeting is, usually this question would be, where is the meeting, right? But now because it's embedded, the subject and the verb change. So instead of where is the meeting, it becomes where the meeting is. Same here. When did he arrive? When he arrived. It changes the subject-verb order. Okay, so although the first part of the question could be answered yes or no, the answer to the embedded question is what the speaker really asks for. So the information they want is the embedded question. They don't want you to answer them yes or no. So for example, if you had to say, can you tell me where the meeting is? And you say yes, the person is going to wait until you tell them where the meeting is, right? So that what they really want is where is the meeting? So if you say yes, that means yes, you know the answer, but then they're still going to wait for the rest of the answer. Okay, so what they really want is the embedded. Okay, so the correct response must answer that part of the question. So in the Toeic, the response you are looking for will answer these embedded questions. So here's some examples. Can you tell me where the bank is? Yes, it's on the next block. If this person only said yes, the person who asked the question will still be waiting for more information. It's on the next block. What does that mean, then on the next block? It's an American phrase. Does anybody know? If you say it's on the next block, what does that mean? Like in America, like how they use different words and phrases when they talk about traffic. Like for example, here we go, like the speed limit, we talk about kilometers per hour. In America, they use miles per hour. When you give directions in America, you say north, east, south, west. Go north, go south. In the rest of the world, we don't know where our north, east, south, west is. If someone says go north, we'll be like, okay, where does the sun rise? The sun rises on that side, sets on that side, so north is, we don't know where north is. America, it's so much in their culture. If someone says north, they know exactly where north is. Okay, and another thing they do is they talk about blocks. So they are talking about locations on houses. Often they'll say, how far do I have to walk to get to the cafe? And they'll go, oh, you have to walk 2 blocks. What that means is you'll like get to 2 intersections. So there's 2 blocks. So the road will cross twice. Let me see if I can find an example quickly on Google blocks. You've also got other phrases like around the block. Let's see if it showed. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, we've got a map, right? Let's look at the map. So you'll see the map is divided into blocks, into squares, all right? So if you look, let's look, for example, at this at the blue arrow. So over here, you would walk straight for 1 block, then you'll turn left for 1 block, and then you'll walk straight for 2 blocks. Can you see what they are saying? They are talking about there's a street, so this will be 1 block, and this will be 1 block. Okay, so that's how Americans talk. So if they said walk straight for 3 blocks, if you start here, this will be 1 block, 2 block, 3 blocks, and it will get you to over here. So American have a lot of phrases like that. 2 blocks. I live around the block. That's another phrase you might hear in like songs. That means if you turn a corner, if I live around the block, I live around the corner. Okay, so just something to remember when it comes to American English. If it's the next block, the next street. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know where it is. Okay, so just remember block in this context means location. Okay, do you know what time the meeting starts? We're looking for time. It starts at 9:15, so we're not saying yes, we do know. We are telling them what time. I'm not sure, but I think before 10. We are answering the question, what time does the meeting start? Do you think it will rain today? Will it rain today? It probably will. Or no, there's not a cloud in the sky. And we all know rain comes from clouds. Okay. Do you remember how many people were at the meeting? The actual question, how many people were at the meeting? I think about 25. Or no, I don't remember. Okay. So if you don't know the answer, you can answer with no. You actually don't know the answer. Okay, then the last one is polite requests. So remember we have yes, no. Yes, no questions. We've got the embedded yes, no questions. And then we've got polite requests. That is the third one we'll be looking at. Polite requests. Polite requests are another type of yes, no. Although they are structured like yes, no questions, they usually aren't answered with yes or no. Instead, the responses contain polite phrases such as of course, or certainly, or I'd be glad to, I'd be happy to, I'm sorry, or I wish I could. Okay, so the first ones, of course, certainly, I'll be glad to, I'll be happy. Those are saying the answer is yes. Okay, the last two, I'm sorry or I wish I could, the answer is no. So the blue is yes. You're saying yes, of course, certainly, I'll be glad to, I'll be happy to. The last two is I'm sorry or I wish I could. That is actually saying no. Okay, we'll make that green. So those ones are saying no. Okay, those are some examples. Responses may consist of or include an explanation. So it may or may not have an explanation of when or how the request will be met or excuse for not fulfilling the request. So if you say of course or certainly, you can listen for an explanation, and you can also listen for an excuse if they use the last two. I'm sorry, or I wish I could, and then they can tell you why they can't. Okay, may or may not contain that. So here are some examples. Can you copy these documents for me? Of course. And then they add some extra. I'll do it right away. So yeah, it's an explanation of when or how. It's an explanation of when they will do it. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm busy right now. So I'm sorry means no. Why? The excuse, the person is busy. The next polite request, will you? Will you call me when the meeting is over? I'd be glad to, means yes. And you'll see there's no explanation afterwards, which is okay. Or I'm sorry, but I'm not sure if I can. Again, you've got your no, and then your excuse. The next one, could you put these letters in the mail for me? I'd be happy to. Yes. I'm going to the post office now. When? Okay, the explanation of when they'll go in now. I wish I could. No. But I don't have time. Excuse. Why they cannot. And the last one, would you show me how to use this machine? Yes, certainly. So you can see this person could also have just said certainly. You don't have to have yes there. But you could say yes, of course. Yes, I'd be glad to. No, I'm sorry. You can have the yes, no there, but it's not necessary. Okay. So yes, certainly. It's very easy to use. That is explanation of how. It's very easy to use. And I'm busy right now, so no, but I can show you later. So this person is excused for not doing it now, but they can help them later. Okay, so as you can see, polite request, can, could, will, would. Right, those aren't in these ones, right? The yes, no questions, can, could, will is yeah, but would not. Okay, but so sometimes when you hear can, could, it's probably embedded or polite. You can see there's can in embedded. It can sometimes be in these ones, but most likely we are looking at polite questions and responses. Can, could, will, would. Not always, but it gives you something to start with. Okay, so identify the type of yes, no question. This will help you choose the appropriate answer. Okay, so we've got three types: the simple yes, no question, the embedded question, and the polite request. So let's first circle what type of question, what type of yes, no question this is. Okay, here is the audio. Oh, that's the wrong one. Here we go.
Listening, Part 2. Get it right. Yes, no questions. Tip 1, task. Number 1.
Do you know where Mr. Kim is?
Number 2.
Has the bus left yet?
Number 3.
Is there a nice restaurant nearby?
Number 4.
Could you carry these boxes inside for me?
Number 5.
Can you tell me when the movie starts?
I'm going to play it again slowly, and then we can do the analysis together.
Listening, Part 2. Get it right. Yes, no questions. Tip 1, task. Number 1.
Do you know where Mr. Kim is?
Question, do you know where Mr. Kim is? What kind of question is that? What type of yes, no? A, B, or C, simple yes, no question, embedded question, or polite request?
D.
B is correct. Embedded question. Why? Do you know
Where?
where Mr. Kim is? I think that was one. So the embedded question is, where is Mr. Kim? Okay, that is the embedded question. So number 1 is B, embedded question. Excellent. Let's look at the next one.
Number 2.
Has the bus left yet?
Has the bus left yet? A, B, or C?
A.
A. That is your simple yes, no question. You asking for, what is the information requested?
It.
Has the bus left yet? Your information, you are looking for a simple yes, no response, or with additional like, no, it's still coming, or no, it's standing over there kind of thing, or yes, it left already, right? Let's look at number 3.
Number 3.
Is there a nice restaurant nearby?
What kind of yes/no question is that? Is there a nice restaurant nearby? What do you think? If you don't know, look at your examples that we have. Yes, the auxiliary verb is. That's under the simple yes/no questions. So the answer, A. Simple yes/no.
Yes. A.
Okay. Everybody okay?
Okay.
Let's go to the next one.
Number 4.
Could you carry these boxes inside for me?
A, B, C.
3.
Thank you. C is correct. Polite response. Could you carry these boxes inside? She's asking them politely. Excellent. And the last one.
Number 5.
Can you tell me when the movie starts?
A, B, or C
B.
is correct. B is
Yes.
correct.
Yay.
Can you tell me when? Okay. So remember when you hear can or could, first listen. Is there another question inside? When, where, why, what? Then it's embedded, or then it's polite. So if there's no embedded question, then it will be more polite. Okay. So if you hear can, could, listen for the embedded question. If there's no embedded question, it will be a polite question, a polite request. Okay. Excellent. Let's carry on. So tip 2 says, listen for an appropriate response option for the question type. A response to a yes/no question does not necessarily begin with yes or no, but it can or it cannot. Okay. The correct response to a simple yes/no question will confirm or deny the information asked about it. What they mean is if you are a simple yes/no question, they'll confirm yes or deny no the information about it. The response to a yes/no question with an embedded question will address the embedded question. Remember, can you tell me where? You are addressing the where in the question. Okay, so you address the embedded question. You answer the embedded question. A polite request may be answered with a polite response. So usually a polite request is answered with a polite response. Okay, so task, read the possible responses in the box. So now we're going to work backwards again. Then listen to the questions and choose the correct responses. There are 2 extra responses. Okay, so he knows how to do it. Yes, there's one across the street at 7:30, I think. Not yet, it leaves at 5:15 or 5:15. Remember, when it comes to telling time in English, there are a few ways to tell the time. So yeah, you can say 5:15 or you can say 5:15. Of course, I'll put them on your desk. No, she can't tell. Or yes, he's in his office. So first off, of course, what type of question is this? What type of yes/no question is this? Of course is under polite. Yes, polite. So we already know we are listening for a polite request in this answer. Okay, so let's listen again and then put the letters with the numbers. Here we go. Google does not like it when you do that. You just go back like that. Okay, here we go.
Listening, Part 1. Get it right. Common distractor types. Similar sounding words.
No. Sorry, wrong part.
Listening, Part 2. Get it right. yes, no questions. Tip 1, task. Number 1.
Do you know where Mr. Kim is?
Number 2.
Has the bus left yet?
Number 3.
Is there a nice restaurant nearby?
Number 4.
Could you carry these boxes inside for me?
Number 5.
Can you tell me when the movie starts?
I'm going to play it again.
Listening, part 2. Get it right. Yes, no questions. Tip 1, task. Number 1.
Do you know where Mr. Kim is?
Number 2.
Has the bus left yet?
Number 3.
Is there a nice restaurant nearby?
Number 4.
Could you carry these boxes inside for me?
Number 5.
Can you tell me when the movie starts?
Okay, the only reason why it's a little bit more difficult now is because you've got 7 options to choose from, right? Remember in your test, you only have 3, so it's a lot easier. So let's look at number 1
Listening, part 2.
together.
Get it right. Yes, no questions. Tip 1, task. Number 1.
Do you know where Mr. Kim is?
What is the answer for that?
D.
Good. G, yes, he's in his office. What they could do to trick you is say, yes, she's in his office. And you would have to know that is wrong because they say Mr. Kim. All right, so just remember to listen out for pronouns like that as well. Okay, good. So the answer is G, yes, he's in his office. So where? Do you know where? Embedded question.
Number 1.
Do you know where Mr. Kim is?
So where is Mr. Kim? Embedded question. Let's look at number 2.
Number 2.
Has the bus left yet?
Has the bus left yet?
D. D.
The dog? Not yet. It leaves at 5:15. Has the bus left yet? That is a simple yes or no question. The answer, no, it only leaves at 5:15. Okay, good. Number 3.
Number 3.
Is there a nice restaurant nearby?
B.
Good. B. Yes, there's one across the street. Is there a nice restaurant nearby? What kind of yes/no question is that? We are looking at
Simple.
the simple one. Is there a nice restaurant nearby? Yes, there's one across the street. Good. So that's the simple one. Next one. Number 4.
Number 4.
Could you carry these boxes inside for me?
Answer.
D.
The question is, could you carry? So we're looking at a polite request. So we can look for a polite response. Of course. I'll put them on your desk. Could you carry these boxes inside for me? Of course. E is number 4, 4E. And the last one.
Number 5.
Can you tell me when the movie starts?
Answer.
C.
C is correct. At 7:30, I think. Okay, this is what type of question?
you tell me when the movie starts? Can you tell me when the movie starts?
What type of question? Embedded. Yes. When does the movie start is the question he is asking, but he's embedded it. Can you tell me when? Okay, so that's an embedded question. So we're going to pre-read the question and response options and listen to the audio along the script, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we need to decide, is it a yes-no response, a response to an embedded question, or a polite response? So, will you be working this weekend? What type of question is this? What type of yes-no question? Will you be working? Remember, if you're not sure, start looking for the examples in the tables. Here's the first one, simple. Will you be at the staff meeting tomorrow? Sounds very similar to, will you be working this weekend? So this is a simple yes, no question. So we've got, I'm not sure. I'll get it. Yes, it is. So what is the answer in this case?
B. Oh no, C.
Oh no. So we've got A, I'm not sure. What does that mean? Yes or no? If you say I'm not sure,
Maybe yes or maybe no. Maybe no.
so you don't know, right? So will you be working this weekend? I'm not sure. I don't know. That works, right? I'm not sure means I don't know. You don't know if the answer is yes. You don't know if the answer is no. So if you answer the question, will you be working this weekend? I don't know. A works. B, I'll get it. What's it?
Yes.
What is it? I'll get it.
Yes.
Isn't that an answer to will you pass me my phone? I'll get it. Can you give me a sandwich? I'll get it. It is referring to getting something. You are doing an activity, right? So that does not answer the question, will you be working this weekend? So B is wrong. Okay, I'll get it. Why? What are you doing next? What are you doing? It's an activity. C, yes, it is. It, again, if you look at the question, here's a pro tip. Will you be working this weekend? The pronoun is you. When you see you in the question, what do you usually see in the answer? I. Right? If you see I in the question, what do you usually see in the answer? You. Pronouns, right? What is it? It refers to an object or a thing. So if we're talking about you in the question, we're talking about a person. And in B and C, we are talking about it, which is an object or a thing. Okay, so your answer in this one is A, I'm not sure. I don't know. So if it says, will you be working this weekend? I don't know. Okay, so A is your answer in this. And the reason why is because it is an object or a thing. And we're talking about a person. Okay. The next type of question. So we've now done information questions. Who, what, when, where, why, how, whose, all of those. Then we've done yes, no questions. And yes, no, we have simple yes, no questions. We have the embedded question, and we have the polite yes, no question. Okay. And then the third type of question, we get questions with or. So this one's nice. It's either or. So just like simple yes, no questions, questions with or begin with auxiliary verbs. So again, we are not listening for what, who, when, where, why. It's auxiliary verbs. Is, are, do, does. Those are the auxiliary verbs. If you want to remember, yes, the first table is are, was, were, do, does, did, have, has, will. These are auxiliary verbs. Okay. So begins with auxiliary verbs, however, and this is where they differ. So it says, however, these, let's make this better, these questions cannot be answered with yes or no. Okay, read that again. They cannot be answered with yes or no. So either or questions cannot be answered with yes or no. A question with or is about a choice. You have to choose. We have A or B. You have to choose A or B. You cannot say yes. For example, would you like some tea or coffee? If you say yes, what does that mean? So if I ask you, do you want some tea or coffee? And you say yes, I'll be like,
Mix.
so what do you mix? Yeah. Okay, fine, I'll give you both. That's funny. Yes. So when you cannot answer yes, because the person will be like, okay, but it's an or question. I need an answer with either or. Okay, so a question with or is about a choice, and the response must indicate the speaker's choice. So for example, if you had to ask me, would you like tea or coffee? And I say, I don't like coffee. What do I want?
Tea.
Tea, right? If I say, oh yes, a coffee would be great right now. What do I want?
Coffee.
Coffee. So it is a choice. It can be a positive, like, oh yes, I would love some coffee. Or it could be a negative, I don't like coffee, which means I want tea. Okay, so that's kind of like how you will see the questions with or in the test. So a question with or is about choice, and you must indicate the speaker's choice. So here are some sample questions. Are you traveling by train or by bus? Do you prefer coffee or tea? Will you make the call or shall I? So the or here is you or I. So who is going to make the call? You or me? Would you like to sit here or by the window? So if you're on a plane, would you like the aisle or the window seat, right? Do you work the day shift or the night shift? You can't, unless you work really hard, you're not working both, you work either or. You still need to sleep. Okay. So that's the questions with or. And remember, the response has to show either one or the other, affirmative or negative. Yeah, quick tip. Questions with or will usually have a fall-in intonation at the end. If you hear fall-in intonation and or, the correct response is likely a choice or an option. What they mean by fall-in intonation is, for example, if you ask a yes-no question, would you like some coffee? Coffee goes up. The intonation goes up. Okay, so if you hear the intonation goes down, for example, would you like some coffee or tea? Tea doesn't go up, right? You don't say, would you like some coffee or tea? That doesn't work. So it usually has a fall-in intonation. That's another thing you can listen for, is intonation. Okay. So simple or yes or no, yes-no questions usually have a rising intonation. Let's have a look at that. So let's look at the yes-no questions. Is this your desk? Desk goes up. Are you going out for lunch? Weren't you out of town last week? Right? Their all intonation is going up. Can you tell me where the bank is? Do you know what time the meeting starts? Right? Can you copy these documents for me? Will you call me when the meeting is over? Okay, all of those intonation is up. But then we come down to here. Are you traveling by train or by bus? There's no intonation going up. Do you prefer coffee or tea? Okay, so that's another trick you can listen for to decide how to respond to the question. Okay, and that was the third type of question. The fourth type of question is tag questions. So tag questions, the question is usually at the end of the sentence. So we'll have a look at that. Let's see. Just make. Okay, so the fourth type of question, tag questions. Tag questions are like yes and or no questions, but the yes or no option is at the end of the sentence. That's what makes it different. It's at the end of the sentence. There. Yeah. In a tag question, an auxiliary verb and a pronoun are attached to the end of a statement. If the statement is affirmative, affirmative means positive, the tag will be negative. If the statement is negative, the tag will be positive. So yeah, we having opposites can get very confusing. Where are we now? Okay, so just to say that again, if the statement is positive, the tag will be negative. I will show this to you. And if the statement is negative, the tag will be positive. I'll show you an example of this now. The responses for these can be either yes, no, or it can be something addressed in the statement. So the answer can have yes or no in, but it can also just not have it in. Okay, so let's have a look at some examples. So you work in this building, don't you? So let's first look at the statement. You work in this building. This is positive. You work in this building. That is the affirmative. The statement is affirmative. Then we have don't you. So when the statement is affirmative, the tag will be negative. Tag is don't you. So it has to be negative because the statement is positive. Okay, so I'm going to make negative red, affirmative blue. So if you look at the next example, John isn't your boss. So isn't makes the statement negative. So your tag has to be positive, affirmative. Is he? That must be red. Okay, so you can see John isn't your boss. It's negative, is not. So is he has to be positive. So remember the tag question is after the comma and it's at the end of the sentence. And it is opposite to the statement first. So the first, John isn't your boss, is negative. So it has to be opposite. So it will be affirmative. Okay, let's carry on. You'll be at the party, won't you? You'll be at the party is affirmative. It's positive. So your tag is negative, won't you? Mary wasn't at the office yesterday. Wasn't. Negative. Your tag, positive. Jim has worked here quite a long time. Positive. Hasn't he? Negative. What you can see, notice with the tag, you is the subject. So it's at the end with the negative. John is the subject. He is in your tag question. You'll be at the party. You is your subject. You will be in your tag question. Mary is the subject. She will be in your tag. Jim has worked here. Jim is your subject. Will be in your tag. Okay. So tag questions are a little bit tricky because it's at the end of the sentence. But that is the fourth type of question, tag questions. And the last thing we have is statements. Okay, so statements, obviously not a question. So in addition to questions, you will hear some statements in part 2 of the listening test. A statement may be about an opinion or a problem. What does opinion mean? If you have an opinion, yeah,
ความคิดเห็น
it's what you think, it's what you believe. It doesn't mean that everybody will agree with you. Okay, so opinion or a problem. The response may agree or disagree with the opinion or suggest a solution to the problem. Okay, so remember, it's going to be about an opinion, and the opinion you may agree or disagree in the response. Or it can be about a problem, make problem red, and you can suggest a solution to the problem. Okay, so opinion. So for the opinion, you may agree or disagree. For the problem, you can suggest a solution. Okay, let's look at some examples. That movie was really funny. Possible responses, I know, I couldn't stop laughing. So this is an opinion. Not everybody will think the movie is funny. So this response is agreeing to this person's opinion. If someone said that movie was really funny, you could say what? I didn't think so. That means you disagree. Okay. Next example, Sam is a very hard worker. He is means they are agreeing. He deserves a raise. Okay. So it's just extending the conversation there. I don't understand how to use this fax machine. This is a problem. I'd be happy to explain it to you. That's a solution. The printer has run out of paper. It's a problem. There's more paper in the supply closet. Is the solution. Okay, so it's same as looking at the differences between facts and opinions, right? Now you're just looking at problems and opinions. The printer has run out of paper. That is not an opinion. It's true. It's a fact. It's a problem. Okay. So tip 1, identify the type of question or statement. This will help you choose the appropriate response. So we're looking at the or question, the tag question, and the statement. So we're looking at these 3 together. So we're first going to listen. Tell me, is it an either or question? Is it a tag question? Remember, the tags are at the end of the sentence and is the opposite to the statement. Okay, so negative, positive. And then the statements, there's absolutely no question in the obviously in the statement. Okay, so let's listen and circle the correct option.
Listening Part 2. Get it right. Other question types. Tip 1, task. Number 1.
It's very cold in here.
Number 2.
You've been to Paris before, haven't you?
Number 3.
Do you drive to work or take the bus?
Number 4.
You like chicken, don't you?
Number 5.
The door is locked.
Listening Part 2. Get it right.
We're going to do this together.
Other question types. Tip 1, task. Number 1.
It's very cold in here.
A, B, or C?
C.
C. It's a statement. There's absolutely no question there. You could make it a tag question if you say, what did she say exactly? She said,
It's very cold in here.
it's very cold in here, isn't it? Right? You can change that statement into a tag question very easily by just adding the tag at the end of the statement. Okay, so that one is definitely C, statement. Let's look at number 2.
Number 2.
You've been to Paris before, haven't you?
ABC?
B.
Excellent. Haven't you? You see, it says you've been to Paris. You have been to Paris. It's affirmative. It's positive, right? Haven't you? Negative. Okay, so always remember your tag is opposite to the statement before it. You've been to Paris. You have been to Paris. Haven't you? Okay, let's go to number 3. Excellent.
Number
You're doing
3.
So well.
Do you drive to work or take the bus?
Easy?
Yes.
All questions.
A.
Excellent. Either or.
Number 4.
You like chicken, don't you?
ABC?
B.
Don't you? Again, you like chicken. Is the statement is usually do you like chicken? Yeah. You like chicken, don't you? The negative to the positive statement. The negative tag to the positive statement.
Number 5.
The door is locked.
C.
B.
C. It's a pure statement. How would you change that into a tag question? So 5 is C, statement, but how will you change it to a tag question? The door is locked,
Isn't it?
isn't it? Excellent. Okay. So that's how you tell the difference between the or questions, the tag questions, and the statements. So, tip. Listen for an appropriate response to the question type. So if you can identify what type of question it is, it's easier to listen to the response. The answer to an or question doesn't use yes or no. Remember that. It never uses yes or no. The answer to a tag question may or may not use yes or no. The response to a statement may agree or disagree or suggest a solution. Okay. So those are the type of responses you will listen. So this is a nice summary. So highlight this, cut it out, stick it somewhere. It's a great summary of the 3 together. Okay, that's a great summary. So the next task, read the possible responses in the box, then listen to the audio again and choose the correct responses. Again, there are 2 extra responses. So A, neither. I come by the subway. So what type of question do you think that is? Can you guess with just that? Or. Why or? Because neither means not either one of them. So if you go, do you come to school by bus or by taxi? And you say neither, I come by motorcycle, right? So it is an or question. Good. B, don't worry, I have a key. We can't tell from that which type of question it would be.
Statement.
We're not sure. It's definitely not an or question, but it could be a tag question or a statement. For example, don't worry, I have a key. For a tag question,
Statement.
you could say like, I don't know, you have a key, don't you? Don't worry, I have a key doesn't really work. All right. If we look at statement, don't worry, I have a key. That could be maybe the person says, oh, I won't be home at that time. You go, don't worry, I have a key. I can let myself in, right? So maybe B is a statement. It's most likely a statement. C, I'll take the red one. What kind of question would that be?
Or question.
Most likely an or question. Would you like the blue one or the red one? I'll take the red one. Okay, so most likely a or question. D, yes, it's a beautiful city. Remember your summary.
Tag question.
We've got a yes here. The answer to an or question doesn't use yes or no, so or is out. The answer to a tag question may or may not use yes or no. So this is most likely a tag question. Okay. Or it could be a statement question. because this person could be having an opinion with, I think Rome is so beautiful. And they could say, yes, it's a beautiful city. So this can be an either a tag question or a statement. E, actually, I prefer fish.
Or
Definitely a or question. Good. Definitely an or question. Okay. Do you prefer chicken or fish? Actually, I prefer fish. Okay. I'll close the window. Can be either a tag question or a statement. For example, what happens if I said, it's cold in here, isn't it? And the person would say, I'll close the window. Or a statement could be, it's so cold in here. And the person will say, I'll close the window. Okay, so this can be either a tag or a statement. It was very funny. This could be agreeing to a statement, or it could be looking at the tag question, like, we watched that movie, how was it, how would you make that a tag question? The movie was funny, wasn't it? Yes, it was very funny. Okay, so that can be either tag or statement. So the first thing you can do, which is the easiest one, is to decide, is it an or question? Okay, and if it's not, start looking at statement or tag. Here we go. Let's play that again. So match A, B, C, D, E, F, G with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Listening Part 2. Get it right. Other question types. Tip 1, task. Number 1.
It's very cold in here.
Number 2.
You've been to Paris before, haven't you?
Number 3.
Do you drive to work or take the bus?
Number 4.
You like chicken, don't you?
Number 5.
The door is locked.
Okay, let's do that together.
Listening Part 2. Question types. Tip 1, task. Number 1.
It's very cold in here.
What is the answer?
F.
F.
F, I'll close the window. So it's a statement, it's very cold in here, I'll close the window. F. Good.
Number 2.
You've been to Paris before, haven't you?
Answer?
D.
D. Yes, it's a beautiful city. So we already know it was going to be a tag question because of the yes. And we know Paris is a city. And when she's the response with was, it's a beautiful city. That is correct. D. Let's go on to number 3.
Number 3.
Do you drive to work or take the bus?
A.
A. Neither. I come by subway. So we're answering the or question. Good.
Number 4.
You like chicken, don't you?
E.
E, actually, I prefer fish. Answering the tag question, don't you? You're like, actually, no. I prefer fish.
Number 5.
And the last one,
The door is locked.
B.
B, don't worry, I have a key. Okay, the door is locked. My parent, I have a key, I can get inside. Okay, don't worry, I have a key. Okay, not so bad, right? So let's go on to the next one. Pre-read the statements and response options, then listen to the audio as you read along in the scripts. Think about the kind of response the statement needs. Okay, so these books are so heavy. This is a statement. So what would the answer be? A, B, or C? I like to read books. I can book a hotel room. I'll carry them for you.
I will carry them for
The
you.
answer C.
Is correct. C, I'll carry them for you. Okay, what they've done, these books are so heavy. They've put books in the answer, so it tricks you, right? Over
Yeah.
at this one, they use book as the verb to try and trick you, but the answer is I'll carry them for you. So I'll help you because you say it's too heavy, so let me help you. Okay, So be careful for these tricks that they're throwing in. Let's look at the tricks, the common distractor types. So similar sounding words, just like part 1. Similar sounding words that you will hear in the questions and responses, or the statements and responses. Okay, so again, weather, wetter, father, farther, feather, department, apartment. So you just need to remember to listen to the similar sounding words. Okay, the same with homonyms, like I told you, whose and whose. One is the contraction, one is the possessive, whose. They sound exactly the same. Okay, and some have multiple meaning words. Example, here. Very close in sounding. Here we are. Hear what I'm saying. Very, very similar sound. Not exactly the same, but very similar. Here. Okay. This one sounds exactly the same. Blue. This is a true homonym, right? One's the noun, the color. One is the verb, the wind blew. The past tense. Work. I work. Let's go to work. So multiple meaning words. Work, room. Suit. Okay, they mean different things, but they sound the same. So you can go through this list. Let's look at, meet the verb, meet the noun, the food, sent. They sound all exactly the same. Sent, the past tense of send. Sent is the money, like satang, sent. And sent, odor. So you don't pronounce that S, sent. Or you can see it's a mixture between the S and the C, sent. So sent sounds exactly the same, but has different meanings. The way you can tell them apart is where it is in the sentence. Is it the subject, the verb, the object, the noun? That can help you figure out which scent they are talking about. Okay, so let's listen to the audio. Choose the best response. And then while you are listening, underline the homonyms, the words that sound the same, similar sounding words. So remember, homonyms are true 100%, sound exactly the same. Blue. That is a true homonym. Here are similar sounding words. Here. Okay. Similar sounding and words used with the wrong meanings. So listen to the audio and then underline homonyms, similar sounding words, and words with the wrong meanings. Here we go. Here's the audio. Number 8.
Listening, part 2. Get it right. Distractor types. Tip 1, task. Number 1.
Did you hear the news?
A.
Yes, he's here.
B.
Yes, it's very exciting.
C.
Yes, they're quite near.
Number 2.
Let's quickly look at that. Did you hear the news? So let's underline the homonyms, the similar sounding words, and the wrong meanings. So, did you hear the news? Yes, he's here. They are looking at the word here and the word here. Similar sounding words. Okay. Yes, it's very exciting. And see, yes, they're quite near. Again, they're looking at near and here. So they're using the two words for the and near. So what is the answer in this case? B. Yes, it's very exciting. So if you can underline words that sound the same or homonyms, You can usually, the sentence without any of them in is the correct one, usually. So let's go on to number 2.
It's time to order more paper.
A,
Yes, and we need some pens too.
B,
Everything is in order.
C,
The border
Sorry,
is closed.
I got too excited there at the end. Okay, so let's have a look. Similar sounding words. We are looking at order. So they've used order in the answer in B, and they've used border in the answer in C. Okay, so everything is in order. It's where it's not the multiple meaning, it's the wrong, it's when they use the okay, can't remember where I saw it now. Oh yeah, okay. So words used with the wrong meanings. Okay, so order, everything is in order, and it's time to order. Okay, this is the wrong meanings of the word. There are 2 different meanings. Okay, the border is closed. Border sounds the same as order. So the answer to this one is A, yes, we need some pens too. Okay, so paper and pens usually go together. And when you say you need some pens too, that means you also need to order pens. So you'll notice how when you underline the others, you're taking them out and usually leaving yourself with the answer. Let's look at number 3.
Sorry, teachers.
Yes.
What was is B meaning again?
Everything is in order. For example, have you set up the restaurant? Have you set up the table? And you say, yes, everything is order. That means everything is done. Everything is completed. So another example, have you informed the speakers of when they will speak? Yes, everything is in order. So yes, it is completed. I have completed everything in order. Okay, that's what that one means. Everything is in order. Everything is complete.
So we
Does that
can
explain?
respond B.
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
So we can respond B in this question.
No. So when you say it's time to order more paper, order is the verb, right? And yeah, it's using it in a completely different part of the sentence. When you say everything is in order, you are saying everything is complete. So if you say it's time to complete more paper, everything is complete, maybe that would work out, but it's completely wrong in this context.
Oh, okay. I see. Thank you.
You're welcome. I will try and find the translation for you entire that explains this concept, but yeah, these 2 orders mean completely 2 different things, wrong meanings. Okay, so the answer for this one, it's time to order more paper, is yes, and we need some pens too. Let's look at number 3. Thanks, Google.
listening part
There's one in the.
number 3.
Who's in charge of this department?
A,
They live in a large apartment.
B,
There's one in that compartment.
C,
Ms. Brown is the supervisor.
Okay, so yeah, they try and distract you with departments, with similar sounding words like apartment and compartment. But look at the question word. The question word we are looking for is
Whose?
whose, right? So the answer is we're looking for a person. We're not looking for an apartment or a compartment. We are looking for a person. Okay. So they are going to try and confuse you with words that sound similar. Department, apartment, compartment. When in actual fact, you should be focusing on the question word. Okay. Let's look at number 4. I don't need to go out. There we go.
Number 4.
The weather is lovely today.
A.
It is. We should walk in the park.
B.
Everything is getting wetter.
C.
I don't know whether she's here.
Okay, so we're looking at the statement. What's the distractor?
Step.
The distractor in the weather is lovely today. What is your distractor? The distractor is weather. Right? You will see in question B, wetter sounds similar. Wetter, weather, weather, wetter. And over here, weather and weather, homonyms, they sound exactly the same, but they mean completely different things. So the weather we are talking about outside, right? And if you say the weather is lovely, that means that it's positive. It is. We should walk in the park, right? The weather is good. The sun is out. Let's go for a walk. So A is your answer for this one. B is wrong because everything is getting wetter. We are talking about weather, we're not talking about something, an object that is getting wetter, right? Also, wetter usually when it's raining, people aren't so happy. It's not lovely, right? People think like rain, like monsoon season. It's not lovely weather. Okay, lovely weather is beach weather. So you can go to the beach. I don't know whether she's here. The true homonym weather means something completely different. Okay, let's look at number 5.
Number 5.
Choose anything you like from the menu.
A.
He always chews so loudly.
B.
It was an offer impossible to refuse.
C.
Thanks. I'll have the baked fish.
Okay, so if you look at the statements, choose anything you like from the menu. What is your distractor?
Menu.
Menu, why is that a distractor?
New. Shoe. Refuse.
Okay. So choose sounds very similar to choose. Choose, choose. They sound very, very similar. Choose anything from the menu. He always choose so loudly. Obviously, that means 2 different things. Choose means decide. The first choose, decide. The second choose is the sound when you chew. Okay, when you chew your food. Okay, so it means 2 different things. It was an offer impossible to refuse. Can also sound like choose. The end of choose, refuse. So not only does it sound similar, choose, refuse, with the S at the end, it also talks about an offer. It was an offer. So similar to something about choosing. You usually have to choose between offers. And the last one, C, thanks, I'll have the baked fish. Here we have the word menu. And what do you often see on menus? You see food, right? So therefore, when you see food in the answer, baked fish, that helps you decide what the answer is. Okay, so there are quite a lot of distractors in question 5. Let's look
Number
at question
6.
6.
Do you prefer blue or red?
A,
I read that article too.
B,
The wind blew very hard.
C,
I always think blue is nicer.
Okay, what are the distractors?
Blue.
So blue is your
Red
first
and blue.
distractor, and good. Red is your second distractor. What are we actually listening for? I'm going to do this one in green.
Brief.
Sorry. What we actually listening for is your or
Or.
option. And this is what you're actually listening for. And blue or red is obviously now your distractors. So I read that article too. That sounds exactly the same as the color red. Okay, so red and red, I read that article too. The wind blew very hard, blue and blue.
Yes.
Sounds exactly the same, means different things. And I always think blue is nicer. Would be your only correct option. Do you prefer blue or red? I always think blue is nicer. So you're saying blue. You prefer blue. You think, it's your opinion, you think blue is nicer. Okay, so distractors, both in part 1 and part 2, are there to distract you. They are not supposed to be easy. They are supposed to try and distract you. And a lot of mistakes are made in the Toeic test because of distractors. They are put there to make you guess the incorrect answer. Okay, so they are difficult. You are not going to catch all the distractors, and sometimes the distractor will win, which means you lose. Okay, they are there to confuse you. And if you make a mistake, don't feel bad. Don't worry about it. They are there to trick you. So the more practice you do, the easier it will become to see the distractors. Okay. So watch out for other distractor types. So other than homonyms, similar sounding words, and different meanings, we can also see repeated words, related words, yes, no answers to information questions, and answers using the wrong verb tense. So these are other distractors that they put in here. Again, repeated words. We have related words. We have yes, no answers to information questions, like what is your name? Yes. Yeah, information questions, who, what, when, where, why, and yes, no answers. That is wrong. It's another distractor. And answers using the wrong verb tense. That's another distractor. Okay, so here's examples, repeated words. Where did you have lunch? The repeated word is lunch, lunch, lunch. You'll see it was a delicious lunch. But what are we listening for? We are listening for where. So you're listening for a location. It was a delicious lunch, has nothing to do with location, but it has the repeated word. So it's there to distract you. I always have a sandwich for lunch. That's the what answer. What do you have for lunch? I have a sandwich. It's a distractor, this lunch. You're listening for where, not what. At the cafeteria downstairs is your location. So repeated words can be very dangerous. Just because you hear the same word in the answer does not mean that is the answer. Okay, always focus on the question word. Always focus on the question type. That is what you need to focus on, not the individual words. Okay, then we have related words. Do you take the bus to work? No, I always drive the car. The fare is $2. Yes, he was a good driver. So an incorrect response may use a word associated with something in the question or statement, but in the wrong context. For example, B and C use words associated with the word bus. Fare and driver. So the fare, you do get bus fare, right? And there is a bus driver. So fare and driver are related words, but it does not answer the question. Do you take the bus to work? Okay. Yes, no answers to information questions. What time does the movie start? What is your information question? What information are you listening for? Can you remember? If you go back to your table at the very beginning. Here we go. What? Information requested, thing or activity. That is what you're listening for, right? And then they answer in a yes or no. So that is completely wrong. Here we go. What time does the movie start? What time is the information requested? So you're listening for a time. And then they say yes, no. Where's the time? There's no time in here. Okay, so yes, no answers. Yes, no answers to information questions. Remember, when it comes to information questions, you need information. If they don't give you information that you are looking for, what time, the answer is incorrect. Okay, wrong verb tense, the last one. Did you play golf last weekend? Last weekend, we are talking about the past. I did layout, right? Last weekend. So the verb, yes, I will play golf with you. I will is your future tense. Will is future. Last weekend is past. Wrong verb tense. Yes, I played at the club. Played is the correct verb tense. But you are given the location. The answer is the location. Is that the question? No. There's no embedded, where did you play golf last weekend? Okay, I played at the club. That's why that cannot be correct either. Yes, I do. Did you play golf last weekend? Yes, I do. Do is the wrong verb tense. Present. Yes, I do play golf. So what's the correct answer? A, B, or C?
E.
B is correct. Yes, I played at the club. So even though it's giving you an answer of where, the verb is correct. I played at the club. Did you play golf last weekend? Yes, I played at the club is the correct answer. They're just giving you extra information. They could have just said yes. I did. Okay. So listen to the audio as you read each question or statement and the possible responses. Write the letter A to D of the type of distractor next to each incorrect answer. The correct answer will not have a letter or a distractor type. For example, we'll do number 1 together. Okay, so let's look at number 1.
Listening Part 2. Get it right. Distractor types. Tip 2, task. Number 1.
Is the food at this restaurant good?
A.
Yes, it's delicious.
B.
I enjoy eating at restaurants.
C.
No, I haven't seen the waiter.
Okay, so now we are looking for the distractor types. So we are looking for repeated words, related words, yes, no answer to information questions, and wrong verb tense. So A, B, C, or D, and 2 of them have to be in one of these answers. Okay, so if you look at, is the food at this restaurant good? The first repeated word is restaurant, right? So I enjoy eating at restaurants is a repeated word. Restaurant, restaurant. No, I haven't seen the waiter. The waiter is a related word to restaurant. So this will be B. So A and B. No, I haven't seen the waiter. It's a related word. So the answer to this question is actually A. Yes, it's delicious. There's no distractor types. If it's a distractor, it cannot be the answer. Okay. So that's a repeated word and a related word. So let's have a look at 2. I'll do it slowly with you.
Number 2.
When will you take your vacation?
A.
No, it wasn't much fun.
B.
I usually go to the beach.
C.
At the end of August.
So number 2A, no, it wasn't much fun. A is a distractor. A, B, C, or D. So first look at the question word, when, right? So when will you take vacation? No, it wasn't much fun. When is an information question. The answer is no. So this distractor is yes, no answer. You can see the answer is no. It's a no answer to an information question. When is an information question? Okay, so A is an example of a distractor type of yes, no answer to an information question. So this is a distractor C. I usually go to the beach. What distractor type is that? A, B, C, or D?
B, related word.
So this one is D for dog. The reason why, when will, future tense, I usually go, that is you talking about the past. I usually go to the beach. So when you get to see there's no distractor here, when will you take your vacation? At the end of August. When? August. It's answering the question. Let's look at number 3. Who uses this desk? So the question word is who. We are looking for information. We are looking for a person. Okay, so A, he sat there yesterday. This is a distractor. What type of distractor is it?
B.
B, related word. Good. Sat, desk. They are related. You sit at a desk, right? The question is who. The answer is yesterday. It's a distractor. Sat and desk. Related words. B. Number B, Mr. Stevens works here. Does it answer who uses this desk?
B is answer.
Correct. B is the answer. Who? Mr. Stevens. Who uses this desk? Mr. Stevens works there. He works there at the desk. Mr. Stevens works at the desk. Okay. And see, it's a very tidy desk. The distractor is a repeated word. Desk, desk. Okay. So you see the pattern here. Usually when the word is mentioned in the question and the answer, it is wrong. Sometimes it can be right, but most of the time it's a distractor. Let's look at number 4. Which hotel did you stay at? Yes, it was a very nice place. What distractor type is that?
C.
C.
See? Yes, no answer to information question. Which information question? Yes, no answer. Okay, that's a C distractor. The big one near the train station is the answer. Okay, which one did you stay at? The big one. Which hotel? The big hotel near the train station. C, what distractor type is C? We had a room with a view.
Related.
Related words. Excellent. Hotel, room, view, are related words to hotel. They try and distract you with related words. Okay, number 5. Has the mail been delivered yet? A, yes, I put it on your desk. B, you can buy stamps downstairs. Or C, no, that envelope is too small. What is the answer?
A.
A is the answer. Yes, I put it on your desk. I put the mail on your desk. What distracted type is number B?
Related word.
Related. Stamps, mail. Okay. No, the envelope is too small.
Repeat.
Related.
Oh, yes, no. C.
Yes, no answer to information questions. Is it? Are you sure that's a C? Has the mail been delivered yet? It's not an information question. It's a yes/no question.
B. Related.
It's completely wrong. When we have has the mail been delivered yet, they're trying to trick you with yes and no, because that's what you're listening for. It's a yes/no question, so you're listening for yes or no. And when you hear no, it's related to the answers you would hear for yes/no questions. Okay, but that envelope is too small. Related, envelope, mail. Yeah, they are related, but it's completely wrong. Okay, guys, our time is up. So we're not going to go through the extra practice of the progressive practice. You can read through the 5 options and then read through the answers. They give you the answer analysis, so you can go through the answer analysis in your own time. And then this page, page 37, the progressive test. Again, what I can do is I'll put this listening in the Facebook group page, and then you can go through the answer analysis and see this is the answers that they give you, and obviously you'll hear the statement in the audio. So I'll put this audio in the Facebook group as a practice, right? And then finally, I'll put this audio, go for the Toeic with the 20 questions in the Facebook group page. So I'll put 2 audios in the Facebook group. First, you need to go through page, here we go, page 35 by yourself. You do not need audio for this. And then you can go through the answer analysis. And then on page 37, you have the practice audio. This is the first audio I'll post in the group. You also have answer analysis, right? And then the second audio I'll post in the group is the actual test. And if you need analysis, you're going to have to ask me questions. Okay. And then you can ask questions in the audio, and I can help you. When I give you the answers, you can ask me, but why, teacher? And I can tell you exactly why those are the answers. Okay, so I'll put 2 audios in the Facebook group. What I also want to share with you, and I'll put it in your Facebook group, is, let's see if I can find this quickly before we go. Over here, I've given you a list of helpful websites to help you practice for the Toeic test. I'll post this in the Facebook group page. So these are websites that you can look at, that you can practice Toeic's tests with. This last one, you can actually enter a competition. Every month they give a free Toeic online course to their top test taker. So you've got 3 free tests you can take on this website, and you stand a chance to win a competition. All right, some YouTube channels that you can look at. So the first 2 are done by Thai teachers. Crew Do is the first one, and I can't remember the teacher of the second Thai teacher. But the nice thing about listening to Thai teachers teaching you Toeic is they can explain everything to you in your native language, in Thai, which makes it easier to understand. So these two are by Thai teachers that you can look at. Goodwin was the one I told you about last week. Goodwin has so many TOEIC videos on his channel. If you look here at the bottom, Goodwin TOEIC, these are just some videos for part 2, question and response. Just some of the videos that he has for part 2. So Goodwin has a lot, his channel has a lot of information for TOEIC that you can look at. And then the other channels are other YouTube channels you can look at. There's plenty of tests that you can do and tips and tricks you can look at. And then the last one is a channel, but you need to select the TOEIC exam playlist. Then they have a lot, the name of the channel is the Real English Online. So they don't only cover TOEIC. So if you want specifically TOEIC, you have to select the TOEIC exam playlist. Okay, so that I will put on the TOEIC group for you as well. Okay, to help you learn more about part 1 and part 2. Well, all these helpful websites and YouTube channels and Goodwin TOEIC, they deal with all the 4, 5, 6, how many parts are there in TOEIC? It deals with all the parts. Okay, so that is all we have time for today. Do any of you have any questions you would like to ask me, or concerns that you might have, or anything like that? Any questions about things that I've said or instructions I've given you that you don't understand? Anything? You're like, no, teacher, I'm hungry. Stop class. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, please put the questions in the Facebook group. I will respond to the questions. And if you do the test and you find something really challenging or difficult, message me, or when I give you the answers, ask me, teacher, can you explain this answer to me, so that then I can help you. I'm here to help you. Okay. To do better in my parts, part 1 and part 2, like I told you, takes practice. Practice, and more practice, okay? And you can use the strategies we've done over the last 3 weeks, last 3 weeks, to help you better with the TOEIC exam, TOEIC test. Okay, that is everything. No questions?
No, teacher, I don't have question, but I want to thank you to provide the knowledge for me, for everyone.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank
you.
And good luck with the rest of the TOEIC course with all your other lecturers. And remember, if you ever have any questions, message me. I don't bite. Okay. I'm actually a really nice person. Okay, so message me if you have any problems. If you don't understand something, I'll try my best to explain it to you. And practice. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Enjoy lunch.
Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Enjoy your class later with Dr. Satima. Bye.